Today, we're going to be discussing value. When I say that, I mean we're going to talk about using shapes and colors to go from a very light tone of it to a very dark tone of it. You can use any type of material to do this. I'm going to be using crayon and hatch scratching on this one. Hatch scratching is just going to be lines that go across, and you're going to see my lines get wider and further apart. Also use scribbling as a way to show different gradation. Okay, scribble that's close together is usually a lot darker. And then scribble that's further apart and less colored in, less pressure is put on the crayon, so it makes less of a dark tone. You could also use just coloring in very, very lightly. Okay, just using back and forth strokes. Okay, less and less pressure being put onto one side than the other. In the same way, you can do it through hatch scratching. And you're just going to add wider lines here. Okay. And they will be darker on one end than they will be at the other. And again, you're just going to have a darker tone at the top, and it's very close together. The pattern is very close together. And at the end, at the bottom, or at the top, whichever way your value is going, they're just going to be a little bit more separated. So on our scales today, we're going to be going larger. Okay, I'm just going to add to the scales that I already have up. And I'm going to cover his entire face in scales so that I can color them in and have different value on them. I'm going to show you guys how to do this in pencil, but you can also do it in a color. Watch me do it in pencil. You're going to have a dark side and a light side. So this is your light side, very, very light tone, and then a dark side. Very, very light tone, and then a dark side. Same thing throughout the entire thing. I think it looks better in color, but some people like black and white. Some people like pencil. Okay, a very, very light side and then color. I'm sorry, dark side, excuse me. Continue on with our shapes. One side is going to be colored in very, very lightly, and the other side is going to be a lot darker. So our light is casted from the center on so that the sides are what carry the darkness. We're going to continue with our value. We can do the entire color across, the entire pencil mark across, and then just add in more darkness on one side. So we can do the entire scale, one color, and then one side is going to have the darkness. So again, all the way across, and then one side is going to have a darker tone to it, a darker value. So So we have our transition from yellow to red, orange to red. And I've used the yellow all the way across to the top. And then I've used my red here. So I'm going to add in my orange right here to continue it. And you're going to see the difference in tone. Can you see how this one has yellow behind it? So it looks a little darker. Even adding more orange to it just adds a little bit more darkness to it. Okay. In this dragon, I will be adding scales to represent our value. So I've added a few already to each of them, and I will be separating them even more as we continue and go up. So these are just small circles to represent the scales, and they're just going to get larger and larger, and the space between them is also going to grow. to create more tension right here. I'm just going to add some lines. Okay, filling this in with color. Let's do something very similar with some different tones. Let's go from green to blue. Okay, so I'm going to choose a very light green. I'm going to go with yellow green here. I'm going to start in this area here in our little blank area. I'm going to start with my circles. And I'm going to gradually go to a darker color. I think the darker color I'm going to go with is probably blue. I'll also be throwing purple in here somewhere. Some of your masks will already be purple. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of green in this area.